things that you should get settled in your 30s from old people.
Oh,
The first one, how to defend yourself or escape from various situations. Learning how to de-escalate situations. How to cook.
Huh? If you don't know, you're just lazy.
And this is actually the biggest one on Reddit.
Whoa, what?
Wow, it's been a while, guys.
welcome back.
Welcome back, JP.
Okay, so we are back with another episode. Previously, or quite recently, we did do another episode about money mistakes that we've made in our 20s for our lovely Chia, who is now currently in Korea. Annyeonghaseyo something.
안녕하세요.
Another poor financial decision on the part.
But today, we have with us older...
Hey, what do you mean older?
older
Let's
cast
redo
members.
Hey, don't say that. I'm very young.
Bro, I'm younger than you.
How old are you?
I'm 29 until
I can
I'm
tell
30.
from how you're dressed.
I'm 29 until I'm 30.
Okay.
It's just 30 this
Okay,
year.
29.
So you're 5 days shy.
No, I'm 3 months shy.
Oh wow, okay. Okay, anyway, we've decided to do an episode on things that are important for your 30s. Or things to do before you are 40 or you regret it kind of lah. That's the
Okay.
angle that we found, okay?
Okay.
So, we scoured Reddit and then we found this thread called Ask Old People. Because that's what you do,
That's not
right?
us.
And old people are now all on the internet already, right? So, we found, curated a list from our lovely producer.
Wow.
Of things that you should get settled in your 30s or
Okay.
before you hit your 40s. Okay? But
Let's go.
before we begin, I mean, now that we're all in our 30s, have you all had your own epiphanies or things that you want to get settled before you're 40?
As in, I think other than health and finances, which I think is a big thing for everybody, right? One thing I want to get settled is my brain.
Okay.
I agree.
I feel like
Your brain.
Her recent performance on the trivia show side.
because I feel last time in my 20s, if I don't know certain things, right, like general knowledge or like knowing the political landscape, for example, I can just say like, I think people will give me the benefit of a doubt that I'm just young. But suddenly when I'm 30, right, I feel like I cannot lag behind already. Like if someone younger asks me and I don't know, I feel like I'm a failure.
But why you never educate yourself?
Ooh, harsh.
As in like,
Exactly.
is it no interest?
That's the
or
question I
what?
ask myself. Why I never educate myself? And I think it's because, right, when I was younger, a lot of my cousins or people, my family members, right, are significantly older. So I feel when they talk about serious things like the world or like politics, right, I think like, wow, boomer things.
No, honestly, I agree.
You know?
Like, I also check out, like, go play game.
Yeah.
Go PlayStation 2 that time. Go
Yeah,
PlayStation 3.
I just will sit there and eat my food. Then I won't really listen to what they're saying.
Yeah.
Which I actually was important, you know.
Yeah.
But I just never listened. So when I grew up, right, and then we start doing like TDK and serious things, then I start to research, right, I realized I don't know a lot of things. Like at the top of my head, I don't have the information. And I also don't want to like keep relying on like ChatGPT, these kind of things. So I feel like, oh my God, I need to grow my brain because I think I know excuse already.
So what are you doing though to grow a bit? Like what steps are you taking?
So every day now, I will read the news.
Okay.
Wow, from?
And if I don't understand it after I read it, right, I will ask someone.
Okay.
Like the recent news about like US and all, I didn't really understand what's going on, so I asked John to explain to
Okay.
me. Yeah, and then now I understand.
There
Very
you go.
good.
As in, slowly but surely, right, I feel like I will grow my brain. And
Okay.
every month, I will read a book.
Wow.
A book. Okay, what are you reading this
Yeah.
one?
Okay, it's like a depressing book lah, but I feel like I want to know about this life of a Japanese author that he wrote before he
A Japanese author.
author.
Oh, an author. Okay,
What
sorry.
were you thinking?
Like a Japanese author.
The animal.
Yeah, the animal. Okay, I was like, okay,
I thought
sure,
the
right.
writer.
No, he's talking
Hold
about
up.
author.
Oh,
I
the
guess-
book is
my
called
bad,
No
my
Longer.
bad. Okay,
No, the
okay.
book is called No Longer Human, and it's like no.
Yeah, and it's in Japanese.
An
also.
author that becomes an author.
Yeah, okay.
I just want to be more cultured, more worldly, and more knowledgeable.
Okay.
Fair.
Obviously.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Actually, I really agree with Alison, because I feel like I'm at this point where I still don't understand fully about like important things to every Singaporean, like CPF, like HDBs and how they all work, you know. So then even insurance, right? I tell you, I have like 3 to 4 insurance agents servicing me, right? They can explain to me the same thing like 5 times. Every year I meet them, right, they explain to me the same thing. Then I still forget. I don't know why. I don't know why I forget. It doesn't.
Early
I
onset.
don't absorb. Hey,
touch it. touch a lot of wood.
I play a lot of mahjong.
just
I hope my brain is very good. Maybe I just feel like the reason why I cannot remember it is because it's not important to me for now. You know, maybe when it's important to me, then I will like really, really go and understand. So I feel like I shouldn't wait for that to happen. I should just, you know, get into my brain.
So advice for the 29-year-old over here.
Yeah, please.
But he's very knowledgeable.
Yeah, that's why. You are very mature for your age, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. That's
Don't let the dressing fool you.
something we did. This is for the F1 movie. This is nothing to do with. This is not how I normally dress. Normally I'm in a goofier shirt. But thank you so much. That's we discussed that in a recent grooming episode. That's a line groomers use.
No, actually, I kind of feel like when I hit my 30s, right, so many things are like you have to slowly invest and then over time it compounds. Like, and it applies to many things. But I think the two most important things that I've narrowed it down to is finance and health. I think those two are the main components that I've tried to understand as best I can over the last few years.
That's why your shoulder bigger.
Wow.
没有啦.
Please insert a photo.
Post
Put
today,
John's
John's
Instagram
IG
story.
story today.
The guns.
Okay, so right, let's move on to the list.
Okay.
From old people. The first one is something that I've brought up before in a previous episode. So it's how to defend yourself or escape from various situations.
Okay.
So when I saw this pointer come up, right, I immediately thought of the recent news article where there was this boy, this family, I think like Haji Lane or whatever, right? And then this 5-year-old boy, right, out of nowhere, right, he gets a glass bottle like smashed on the back of his head by a random person. Then he immediately like cry and vomit and concuss lah.
Oh my gosh.
What
Why?
did the kid do to kena this one?
Until now, I also don't know lah.
By
But basically,
who?
there was this random guy,
Right.
and then he just randomly attacked
He
this fella.
assault him.
Yeah, with the family around and all that. So then after that, I think a few people helped to apprehend him
Yeah.
and wait for the police to come. Right. Then I think the dad or somebody was already recording.
Okay.
Then while they were recording, this guy seated on the ground. Right, he started to reach into his sling bag. So the person recording faster snatched the bag from him, right, and then pull out a knife lah. Like, that's crazy to me, you know. Then it started to get me thinking about how if I had a child, right, and I cannot protect my child, right? I mean, I know that the circumstance is like completely like so external and random. But in those situations, I still feel like if I'm in that scenario, would I have regret if I didn't at least try to acquire the skills to be able to protect my family in some way or another, right?
Wow.
But damn scary, yeah. Okay lah. Obviously, I don't expect people to start learning martial arts and all that kind of
Self-defense.
stuff right now, right? But there are a lot of these. I was talking to my mom about it. So then I was explaining to her how there are actually programs that kind of teach you about like softer skills that you can utilize in situations like that, right? Where it's a matter of gaining, like, for example, situational awareness. So when you go to a restaurant, where you sit actually matters. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's a real thing, you know?
Wait.
Like scanning the exit route, really looking for the point of threat.
Don't-
No, it's a real
sit
thing.
back-
It's a
back
real
to
thing.
the-
Don't,
back to the-
don't sit
Yeah.
near the door.
Okay.
And don't face your back towards the door.
Because in case
Okay.
people come in and attack
And
you,
attack
is
you
it?
from the back.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, okay, but I'm like, why? You're not a mob boss. Why do you need to?
Unless you're alone lah,
Random
right?
people like that. Lor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is one of them, okay? Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And then there was another one about how, like, learning how to de-escalate situations.
Okay.
Because sometimes
Yes.
people, you like, get into an altercation or whatever in public or wherever it may be, right? How can you de-escalate it verbally and all this kind of stuff and with your body language so that it doesn't get into like a more dangerous situation, which is very useful for people who are, I guess, like weaker or whatever, you know, where you if
Speaking,
you were to
right?
really go one-to-one, it's harder for you.
Yeah.
How you gonna do? How you gonna diffuse on the train? Then like bump into you. Hey, what's your problem? And how you
And then
gonna
I use
what you
all
gonna
the
do?
skills that I learned, like the whatever,
Okay,
the
use the skill now,
soft
use the skill now.
skills. Like, I mean, I haven't go lah.
What is your problem? Maybe I can help you with it. Yeah, you know?
Yeah. The psychoanalysis.
I learned something
Analyze.
from our producer Nikki recently. Then order food delivery, but he forgot to input like our exact office number, unit number. So when the driver called, he was very like irritated. Like, why didn't you put this in, this kind of thing? So when he finally arrived, right, Dan told him the correct unit number. Then when he finally arrived, Dan wasn't here to receive the food. So Nikki, being the nice girl that she opened the door. And as soon as she opened the door, the guy verbally like attacked her.
Say what?
Like he cursed at her like what the F? Can you input the thing properly or not? Huh? Why y'all do this kind? Can you tell the Daniel to effing put the address in? Wow. Then in that situation, right, I would probably like, oh my god, so sorry. Like I'll be scared because someone is like verbally like attacking me. I mean, it's kind of our fault lah, but still it's still very like aggressive. I am so like impressed by Nikki. She shout back at him. Excuse me, my name is not Daniel. He's not here right now. I'm just here to receive the food.
Nice.
Can you not talk like that? Then I was like, oh my god, Nikki. Like I was quite proud. Wow, Nikki.
Respect.
Because I
So
think
good.
like, people should stand up for themselves also.
Yes.
As in, although like we were in the wrong, I still think like people should, learn how to like diffuse this
Respond.
kind of situation.
No, but de-escalation does not equal wimping out.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean
yeah.
you blindly accept the... Yeah, if it's not even your fault, then you're getting yelled at.
Yeah.
What she did is like, I feel I would have done the same thing. I'm not the person you're angry at, You're angry at somebody else, but you're taking it out on me because I'm the unfortunate person who's standing in front of you.
Yeah, I think I will just respond like very, very calmly, like so I throw off the person,
Yeah,
always
yeah,
make the person like,
Trying to imagine what JP would have done if that was him at the door.
I think he'll just say, oh, okay.
I won't match his energy.
Yeah.
It don't make sense. I throw him off.
Yeah.
Like maybe I crack a joke or I laugh. Or I tickle him a little bit. Or I just give him $100 suddenly randomly. Like, just here's a kind deed
oh,
for you.
I wanted to give you $100 tips. I think maybe I keep.
Then he go to every delivery and he shout.
But like, cool, because I think, sometimes you need to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
But like fully stand up for yourself. Because I think everybody sometimes back away, but then like maybe it will make the aggressor want to charge on more also.
Okay, so old people advice.
Depending on the situation.
I don't know where old people is.
Okay, next one. Also from old people, how to cook.
Huh?
An important skill to learn by the time you're 40. When I read this, right? Okay, wait, you all agree or disagree?
Let me cook. Wait, what?
Who don't know how to cook?
How to cook?
I thought it was a very
Absolutely.
normal skill.
I think yes, and if you don't know, you're just lazy. Because there are so many inventions now that last time I agree. A bit hard mix oil with water and like you need to fold, like there's certain methods, right?
Wait, what are you making?
Pasta or something like noodles. But not
Oil,
everything is
water.
pre-packaged, or like there are things like air fryers where you can just put the thing inside. You don't even have to like defrost and shit. It will just be cooked. You just turn the knob to a time. So if you don't know how to cook now, I'm like
Cooking
confused.
is too easy now. Too
I
easy.
argue that you don't actually need to learn how to cook.
Why?
Because I think technology is improving at such a high rate, right? That we will probably reach a point where we can just print food.
They are doing that.
Like the quality of pre-packaged, ready-to-eat meals and all that kind of thing, right, is going to get so high, right? And it's going to become more and more affordable to a point, right, where you really don't need to cook. There's no more like home cook. This
So how long
taste, that
gonna-
taste. All of it tastes home cooked.
How long before they need to print
I
food?
will wait 10 years. By 40, yeah.
Okay, 10 years sure, but tomorrow, what if you want to like carry on
Then
like a
how?
family recipe? My
Die.
mom's chicken curry, damn good one. I know I want to bring this legacy forward forever.
It's not that good, trust me.
Hey, don't talk about that. Hey. Ma, I tell you watch out.
Blame mother. But honestly, now I agree lah. I don't think you have to learn how to cook because like you everything is already done for you nowadays. You can go 7-Eleven, buy the chicken breast, can eat already.
That's what they
Straight
do.
away.
True.
That's what Alison does every
Yeah,
day.
every day.
For the past 8 months I've been here, that's what she's been doing.
But I know how to put it in the microwave and on.
You don't even have to.
Hey,
no
And I
baby
can
steps.
also cook myself. Yes, I can.
Okay.
cook.
I
What
just
do you-
don't
oh, yeah,
want
you
to
do.
wash the dish.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, dishwashing.
It's a tough part.
Yeah, we should ask old people, how do you get rid of that half of it? Okay, so now we move on to the third point.
Okay.
And this is actually the biggest one on Reddit, right? How to manage your finances.
Ah.
And understanding the basics of finances, which we have talked about briefly, actually extensively in the previous episode. But I thought it'd be interesting to get fresh perspective, right? From you guys especially.
Thank you for saying fresh perspective, not old. Old
Got
people's
you.
perspective.
So yeah, basically like talking about budgeting, investing, protecting your future self when it comes to like insurance and savings like that, right? Where do you think you guys are at now?
Oh my gosh, I realized the importance of insurance. Very thankful to my parents who, from young, then they buy for me. Then once I'm like independent, I buy for myself lah. But I didn't realize how it's needed, how important it is. Because I always think that, I'm very healthy.
You kena accident quite recently also, right?
Yes, I did. So what happened was like I was like rock climbing, bouldering, and then like I usually very careful one. Okay, you were there. I was very careful, and I always climb down halfway. Then
You
I
were
did
there?
fall off.
I'm always there, but I don't remember one. Everybody's stories, they always...
And then it's one of those
guess-
lunchtime climbs lah. And I always climb down halfway until it's like very low to the ground. Then I jump off. But that day, at the last part, the highest part, I fell.
Oh no.
And I heard or I felt like a click. like that.
Where?
So,
Like the iPhone closing.
in my ankle.
No, that sound effect was
my
exactly
God.
like perfect. Like I totally can visualize.
In your ankle.
Yeah, in my ankle, but I
Ooh.
thought I fell correctly and properly. So I didn't think very much about it because can still walk, can still go and do stuff. That day I did my high rocks training somehow.
Oh no.
Yeah, I really didn't think much about it. But after like 2 to 3 months, right, the swelling never go down. So finally, after a lot of nagging from people, I went to do an MRI. I went to check it out. Turns out it's a high grade ligament tear.
Oh my
Which
god.
the doctor says I need to go for surgery for. If I don't go for surgery, I can never exercise.
Never.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
not safe to exercise.
Yeah.
If I cannot,
Oh, no, if you cannot walk,
exercise.
Yeah, she can still
Oh,
walk.
okay.
I can still walk,
Is
but
it-
like
Every
my-
step is making you worse, right? Until you heal it. Until it's fixed. Yeah.
Yeah. So since I'm young, right, I might as well just go get it done, and then I can continue exercising like intensively. So I'm going for this surgery, which actually costs like 5 digits, like mid 5 digits.
It is.
I didn't know.
Really,
But the amazing thing, right, is I got insurance.
Okay.
And like it
Let's
didn't occur
go,
to me that
insurance.
all this insurance is so important. Now I'm only paying like a very low 4 digits. Very, very,
Wait,
very
that's
low
massive
4
difference from
Yeah.
what if the full
right?
bill is
Mid 5 digits, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So very, very that's something that I think everybody needs to have and prepare for before their 40s. Because you never know. You might think you're very young and like very healthy, but you never know what's gonna happen to you.
Damn scary, yeah.
Yeah.
When I think about it, like, cause like I also like go and do like all these high risk activities
Yeah.
also, right? You never know when something. I mean, I've been lucky so far. Now my knee is a bit pain, my shoulder a bit loose. But yeah,
Yeah,
scary,
you never
sia.
know. So get yourself insured.
I think same as you, I was also I started to get concerned with insurance only like way later when I was like being taught to it by my friend. So then after that, he was explaining to me a bunch of stuff. And only recently did I stumble across this other thing, which is a scheme by the government. It's called CareShield Life.
Okay.
You know what is it?
No.
Please explain.
Okay, I explain to you. CareShield Life is Singapore's national long-term care insurance scheme designed to provide basic financial protection for those who develop severe disability and need care.
Oh.
Okay.
I hear a bit before.
So basically, this scheme is designed, right, to provide basic financial protection for those who develop severe disability and need care.
What's that mean?
It offers lifetime coverage and payouts that help with basic care needs for as long as one is in severe disability. So I will explain it more because honestly, when they reached out also, right, then I was reading through it, right, it's actually quite extensive. And it's quite interesting, but there's a lot of information. So I will
Okay.
try to share as much as possible so that we can understand, because I think it's important to understand at our age. And if you are younger, even more important that you get to understand this as well. Because I think this affects you, it affects like your parents, it affects a lot of people, your children even potentially, right? Because, right, it's actually automatic coverage for young adults. So if you're an SG citizen or PR born in 1980 or later, you are actually automatically enrolled on the 1st of October 2020 or when you turn 30.
Oh.
Which is great. So you don't like, even you don't know, you already
covered.
Oh, we
Yeah.
are all covered already.
Yeah.
Soon for me.
Not him.
Soon. October.
Soon.
Then
Yeah, and basically how it applies, right, is that if you cannot perform at least 3 out of 6 activities of daily living, which is ADLs, examples like washing, dressing, feeding, toileting, mobility, and transferring, you can actually apply for the claims.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I know. Honestly, if you lose it, like what happens? Like, what's the protection here?
Once the claims are approved, you basically get monthly cash payouts for as long as you remain in severe disability.
Okay.
And the premiums can be fully paid using MediSave also. So do you all know anybody or personally have had experiences with any of this? Like requirements of like long-term care?
I mean, I do know people like older than me who require a lot of assistance with like daily living, and it's quite sad to see, like, for example, my relatives who I don't know the cause of it, like it could be a stroke or whatever that caused him to like now have to be in a wheelchair, obviously cannot stand and move by himself. So the transference, that one, mobility, the feeding also, if let's say the hands cannot raise or whatever, then he has to be fed, right? So that's one also. Yeah, so it's really very difficult and very hard on the caregivers because there's a lot of attention and care that needs to go into for them, and then their own like livelihoods, for example, will be affected. So then, for example, maybe my auntie will not be able to hold a full-time job outside in an office or something because she always has to be home taking care of him. Let's say he suddenly need to go toilet and how. If don't have helper, then she has to be the primary caregiver lah. So I can see how important this is, especially with the payouts that can support their family.
I also have a friend whose parent, right, was like very early on. I think when my friend was like 11 years old or 10 years old, right, her parent was actually diagnosed with a very severe disability also.
Okay.
And then it just keeps getting worse, right? You know, like the moment it hits, it just keeps getting worse. And what was interesting, I mean, obviously it's very difficult to see like her parent go through that whole experience, right? But over the course of like 20 years, right, there are a lot of other things that come up, which I think people usually don't really address. And I think it's because the financial strain is usually always the main challenge for families that go through this. But because of all the focus on that, right, there are a lot of other things that are neglected. For example, right, the relationships between the child and the parent, they are still parent and child. You know, and from like 10 to 11 years old, you continue to grow up in this environment where you are kind of torn because yes, your parent is sick, but at the same time, they are still your parent and you still have the same challenges that you go through with a parent. But it's so difficult for me to address that or bring that up because at the same time, you are so sick. And I still have to take care of you and I still do all this. And my friend is in a situation where then now I have to think about the financial aspect of it. And I'm working my ass off to try and help and cover and make up for certain things and all that kind of thing in order to take care of that. And that becomes the main stressor. And I think for a long period of her life, right, that was the only thing that occupied her mind the entire time. Yeah, which, wow, when I see from outside also, it's like, it's really damn shag. And what is difficult about it also is I think like the cost involved with it, right, is quite high. If I'm not wrong, right, there was more information that was shared with me, right, about like long-term care costs. And I think the breakdown was actually quite interesting. Wow. So home-based care is basically if you choose to be cared from home, right? Then maybe you might need to hire like somebody to help, which is very, very common, especially for people who have like the 3 or more of those like ADLs, right? So usually that's like the salary and whatnot. It ranges between 700 to like 1.6K. That's home based. And then, right, you also have institutional care where basically like the cost of like, for example, like a senior receiving care in a subsidized nursing home can usually range between 1.2 to up to like maybe 4.9 a month.
Wow, okay.
4.9.
Depends on the level of care.
Oh.
Yeah, because I think the requirements might differ.
2 nurses for the blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. On top of that, there's also another one which is daycare and rehab. So yeah, it's the same thing. These kind of services for, especially because it's long term also, right? So it ranges from 200 to 1.1K per month. And then there are all these other costs.
Yeah, adds up.
Yeah, like you need to install something in your home. You need to have a wheelchair. You need to have like a special bed. You need to have all these like healthcare items like diapers. Right? So it really, really adds up, which is quite scary lah. So I think it's quite important. And I don't fully understand it, but I'm really trying to learn how to understand this thing, right? Because you want to know where there is like financial help. What you can lean on and leverage on as much as possible, right? I think there are also like government subsidies and financial support to reduce everything overall. But at the end of the day, I think it still will add up no matter how much that, and because it's over such a long period of time also. Yeah.
Right. And I think it's important to know, right? Because when you actually get into something, like you get an accident, you want to know like what you have that can help you. Because when it happens, right, I think you'll be very flustered.
Yeah. Like, so more than 10 years ago, when my dad had a heart attack, and then part of it included a fall. So not only was there a cardiac arrest, it was also like caused him to like be in a coma for a bit. And I had to start looking up because my mom is obviously at that point shaken. I'm not expecting her to do anything. So I'm doing the research, right? This was more than 10 years ago. So things have definitely changed since then. And I was doing research. I was like, what am I going to do? I need to find a place that can take care of him long term because I can't expect my mom to go in. She has her own medical problems. And, so there's a whole long list of things and trying to stay calm and trying to keep level headed is not possible. It's very tough to do.
So emotional.
And I was like quite young back then. So, that was like when I was like 17. Like it was not.
You're so young.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where to go and where to start with. And I think over the years there's a lot of safety nets put into place that if it happened like now, I'll be more like confident about the kind of support I can get for him.
Yeah.
Were you consciously and like very active in understanding those safety nets after that, given this?
Every time they announce a new thing, I think back to that. I'm like, oh, actually this could have helped in that moment for those things. So every time something new comes out, I personally am just relating it back to my own experience of that pretty traumatic time. I'm like trying to research. I'm like, okay, actually now with this, it would have helped with the daily care. It would have helped with rehab because like you need to get him back his cognitive abilities and like there's so many things to help somebody long-term recovery. Especially like I have an uncle who had a stroke. And then we are like trying to do research. This was quite recent. So I'm trying to find where can he get his speech therapy from? Where can we get his cognitive abilities from? So that he can start recovering what you mentioned, the activities of daily life.
Yeah.
Because, if not, someone's got to be there to feed him, to wash him, to move him here and there. It's a lot. And I think we're at a better place than we were 10 years ago. Yeah. So every single time something new comes up.
When it comes to thinking about being able to retire comfortably, what is the most pressing thing for you? Is it like how you're budgeting right now? Is it about like where your investments are going? Is it about like your insurance, your savings? What is it? Like,
Honestly,
what's the priority for you?
It's both insurance and then growing your money, because everybody always say like all your insurance agents will tell you that like for now when you are earning this amount of money, it's good for now when the cost of living is like that. But next time the cost of living will increase because of inflation and all, and so your income is not gonna help. So you need to know how to grow your money. And so I think that's one thing that I feel like it's very important for me to understand. But I'm not math girly, so I need to like really go and get myself educated.
Same.
I worship at the altar of compound interest.
Ay.
So I know this. You keep putting it right, it will just keep
Not
growing.
enough.
Just keep putting it. Just believe in it. It will happen. It will just keep growing because that's how powerful compound interest is. So I do invest like a portion of my salary every month just to make sure it's always
Something,
going into. I'm always like buying, and so this actually plays into what you mentioned about doing about the world. So I'm like, I kind of feel like this month this is what's going to happen. So there is a bit of like a small portion of it is like I'm guessing on the stocks that I want to buy, but a major portion of it is on like index funds, just save stuff.
Yeah.
Save long term hold. Like 10 years I've been holding the same thing, you know. And then so and I know I'm going to keep growing that. That'll be my nest egg eventually.
For me, insurance is a big thing.
Okay.
With the whole situation with my mom, right? It made me a bit like scared. Because like what if it happens to me? And so I feel like I really like power it up, right? So that if anything happened to me, right, I'm good.
Right.
As in like, okay, not good health-wise, but like,
You got like 6 different policies coming through.
yeah. And that time it was when I was single. So I feel like I need to protect myself.
Yeah.
Like I have really like no one to really depend on. Ma.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like when I was 20, it hit me
Right.
that when I'm old, right, what if I'm alone?
For your own insurance or that, like you fully like understand and studied or to kind of know like what kind of coverage you have.
Like to cover myself. Yeah, so like a few years back when I started working, that's when you finally earn a proper income, right? To get paid for insurance. Yeah, so I got in touch with a friend. I have this thing where if somebody comes to me and tries to sell me insurance, I would say no.
Okay.
So I go and look for someone and then I approach them only after I know them. You don't have to sell to me. I will look
But
for
if
you.
it's your friend,
Yeah, so it's somebody I knew, but he never tried to sell me anything.
Oh,
I just knew he
okay.
was doing it because he's doing insurance.
Yeah.
So then I went to him after like, I gave it like 6 months, he never asked me. Then I'm like, okay, I respect that. So I went to him and asked him about it. And then so he walked me through a lot of plans. And then he told me he's right up front. He's like, this is what I will earn from this.
oh wow.
This is what I will earn from this. So obviously in everybody's interest, this plan is good to sell to you. But he's telling me, he was telling me this is the benefits versus what you're missing out on other plans. So once I knew what I was being covered for, so that's when I started focusing on critical illness care, on accident emergency care and all that stuff. And I need this because I have as everybody in the office knows, I have a slip disc. And it's like caused a lot of issues for me. So like since I got the injury, like, around NS time, like it's caused me to like just lose the ability to go and work out properly and all that. So like over the years, I just like so put off by the pain. Yeah. And then like I don't want to work, I don't want to take care anymore. I'm so tired and sick of the pain. So I personally like there's a mental block also in that.
Yeah.
So but then a few years back I realized actually part of the coverage I also can get my physio covered. So I got that covered. So I started doing a bit of it. And I slacked off a bit here and there. So I just need to lock in. And so that's one thing I want to lock in on before I
Really.
I want to strengthen my back. I need to strengthen my back so that when I get even older, when I reach like much older in life, right, I know it will hurt. Now you see I hear a few when people say that. Not just me, in the office, you hear them. Yeah, she sits behind me, so I hear the.
It's genuinely like a 30s. I don't know, but
It's my posture.
is it?
I feel like the back suddenly very important.
For
You
real?
know what I mean?
No, now everybody
Like-
talk about the trunk already.
Huh?
Like this part, right, is the biggest area that you need to get damn strong. Then
Because it's the
everybody-
middle part of the
everything
bending
start
back
from there,
forward.
Yeah.
like sit down toilet, need to bend. Stand up.
Yeah. I was gonna say on that point right, of your story, right, that I think the compounding effect works both ways. Where the longer you put off exercising or training or that kind of thing, I think when it comes to health, it compounds negatively.
Yeah.
Like everything else will start to deteriorate. Because like for example, right, like I had a relative who had a leg problem. So then because he never go and fix the leg problem or go and get the physio to recover it properly, right?
Yeah.
After a while, right, his hip got problem. Then his other leg got problem. All because of that
Oh.
Yeah, like it keeps transferring. But if he had strengthened it earlier and do the right things, right, it wouldn't be so bad.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
so scary.
But the other way around is that if you, obviously you still can start, right? But if the earlier you start, right, then it mitigates a lot of the other issues. Yeah. And you compound it in the other direction.
Yeah.
So on this point of like health and all these like physical problems, all this starting to occur, right? All the pain here, pain there, right? There's some interesting statistic here. So Singaporeans, right, are actually living longer now than ever before. And our average life expectancy is about 83.5 years.
Okay.
Which is one of the highest in
That's
the
quite
world.
high.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think humans' average lifespan, according to this, is about 74 years.
Huh, really? Because I always think like Singapore always has
The
a lot of
Ukrainians'
processed
average
food
lifespan,
and stuff.
So health span is different from life expectancy.
Okay.
Oh,
Wait, what
sorry,
is
so
it?
you say
Okay, let me
again, say
redefine
again.
this because we defined it before. You wanna try?
Lifespan and health span.
Okay.
Lifespan is your life.
Okay.
The span of your life.
No way.
But health
Definitions.
span is if you kena something,
It's a span of
Keep
healthy
going.
life.
I help you.
how healthy you are.
So whether you have
To
quality
keep
life,
How do you get
yes.
it from there though? I clearly read the script before this.
as an empath, I understand what Alison was trying to say.
Is it
That
or not?
there's a span of how much of healthy quality life you have
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
clinging to
That
life
means when-
like
Yes.
Voldemort.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the average Singaporean has a health span of 74 years, healthy.
Okay.
And then because our life expectancy is about 83 years, that means there's that window of like about 10,
10
years
years.
where you're gonna like get ill, suffer from other things, all that kind of thing. And it's just not that pleasant. And I do believe that a lot of the technology and stuff that we're working on now in the health industry, right, is all to try and like shorten that period
gap.
also. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shorten the
So
health.
the low HP part of your life.
The gap. So your health span
Yeah.
is as close as possible
So we are trying
to your lifespan.
We are trying
Right.
to extend the health span.
Got it.
No, but I honestly, I personally very concerned with this, because right, from our understanding of talking to experts from all over the like all the different industries and whatnot, right, I realized that right now we are trying to constantly push the lifespan further and further and further.
Yeah.
But that means that the design of our lives is going to transform drastically also, right? People are getting married later. People are having children later. I mean, and then you have all this other tech and all that kind of stuff to push that further, right? But let's say we achieve the capability of living to like 130 years old. Like that becomes the average lifespan, right? That means that by the time you are like 80 or whatever, right, you still not done though.
That's a midlife crisis. Then.
Yeah. So then where you still have to continue working. How are you going to be
Yeah.
able to work and all that kind of stuff, right? Like all of that is just so, the way we look at life is going to be so different. The way we look at our 20s and 30s, you are basically a baby now. Yeah.
But in the hypothetical, right, is 80 going to be the 80 of today? Or will the 80 of this world that you're talking about?
Yeah.
You're a 50-year-old, like, you say age 80 lah, but
Yeah.
you behave with the mobility of
Yes.
50.
So that's why there's all this like stuff and like talk about like what's your biological age, right?
Yeah.
And also like the whole idea of this law, which is how do I stretch my health span so that even when I'm 80, I feel like I'm 40 or whatever. Yeah, I think that is one of the key things lah. But anyway, a few more interesting statistics. About 1 in 2 healthy Singaporean residents could develop severe disability at some point in their lifetime.
Damn.
Okay.
That's 2 of us at this table.
Oh, jalat.
And among my hands were already on the table. Okay, and among Singaporean residents who develop severe disability, about 3 in 10 could remain in severe disability for 10 years or more.
Wow.
Oh, shacks, yeah.
The Singaporean male urge to say shack at every...
Okay, so besides long-term care needs for when we are old, right? I think there are also illnesses and accidents that you guys have mentioned like earlier that can also happen when you're in your 30s and 40s, right? Which is why I think like insurance schemes like CareShield Life are so important because they really help to protect against like recurring long-term care costs, right?
Right.
And like earlier on also, like I mentioned, right, the financial burdens can also fall to your loved ones and that kind of stuff. Right? These will kind of like be able to help with meeting those like financial needs also lah.
And I also think we learn to consider like different financial options. Let's say if we ever fall into like severe disability or something happens to us and we do need long-term care. So we talked about like having our own private savings or like we can use grants or subsidies from the government, like your CPF, MediSave, as well as CareShield Life coverage.
So if you'd like to know more about CareShield Life, you can check out the link in the description below to figure out like what kind of support you can have for long-term care. If not, thanks you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Bye. Take care.